I'll grab one.
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
Welcome to Youth on
who's that?
Record. Jamie, nice to meet you.
Hey,
Hi, thanks for coming.
Dave.
Nice to meet you. All right, well, here we are. We're at Youth on Record in the middle of Denver. So I know you guys know a little bit about us. We've been friends of the radio station for 10 years. 10 years ago, the local band Flowbots won Hometown for the Holidays, and it kind of catapulted their careers. And those guys are our founders. So Jamie, Steph, and Andy, all those guys from that band actually grew up and went to Denver public schools and are super big believers that music has the opportunity to give back and change communities, as you guys know. So that's how we started 10 years ago, and this is where we are now. You guys are in our youth media studio. So as you guys were coming in, you probably noticed this big new development, and this is all Section 8 affordable housing and market rate housing together. So we were super stoked. Youth on Record is the anchor tenant here, and we teach 1,000 teenagers a year in this facility. We were started by musicians like yourselves who said, look, we need a way to give back to young people, and we kind of need the mentors we didn't have. And so I don't know, like when we get on the podcast, you guys can talk to us about some of the mentors you had when you were teenagers, but that's critical to have kind of people in your life who don't have to love you. We say like your family, they gotta have your back, but like to have adults who don't have to care, it will change a kid's life. And we're just so keyed in with the music community that we're like, musicians are the natural mentors here. So all of our employees are musicians. They're all working, they're touring, they're putting out albums. So that changes things when you walk into the classroom. We teach class here, and your teacher is actually a professional local musician, right? That's super exciting to us.
What kind of classes?
So we teach 4-credit high school classes. So kids can actually come to Youth on Record and get their English credits, their social studies credits, their elective credits. We teach classes in audio production, audio engineering. We teach poetry classes. We teach music fundamentals. So basically we take whatever is kind of the craft of that artist and build an entire curriculum around that. So our students come from a school district that we have a really high dropout rate in Denver. Almost 40% of our kids don't graduate high school.
Wow.
I know. And in this neighborhood, almost 80% were dropped out. So again, like, how can music be that thing that changes the landscape of an entire community? So what we've done is we just put the artists to work on this issue, on this dropout crisis, helping our young people. So we have over, I don't know, Andrea, 40 artists involved right now in the classrooms, volunteering as music ambassadors. All of our artists get paid and paid well, so it keeps them in the community. We've built a cool facility here. We built this kind of modeled after the Kivas of the American Southwest. So we do poetry class, a lot of meetings here. We wanted it to feel like non-institutional.
Yeah.
You know? Right. And especially for a youth space, sometimes you walk into a youth space and it was obviously designed by adults who don't get it. Like it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not a place as a teenager you'd want to hang out.
Right, yeah.
Right, so we wanted to make sure this was really influenced by the design of youth themselves. So every part of it's a little bit different. Everything moves so the classrooms can look different every year. Last year, we have a music ambassador program. So musicians like you guys will come in, get involved. Last year, Big Gigantic raised money on their tour to build this music production lab for the kids.
Wow.
And then they came and they helped support one of our former students who's now full-time staff. They helped to underwrite his salary. So we got to know him really well throughout the process. But this is the kind of equipment, I know, like you guys were at Berklee College of Music.
Yeah.
Our students wouldn't have access to this kind of equipment. So it's like, how are they going to compete after school if they've never been on this stuff, if they don't know Ableton, Pro Tools, if they're not on kind of like the best software and best equipment. So this is the stuff that we try to work to make sure that they have access to the tech.
Transition to the industry.
Totally. We actually, that's our goal, is to create a whole pathway right into the creative industries. Because I can't remember, you didn't finish at Berkeley?
No.
Yeah.
Pretty close though.
We have no judgment about that here because honestly, it's not for everybody. And for you, it was a tool to start this band and to collaborate. Exactly. And so for our kids, like if that's not the pathway for them to go to university, how can we just launch them with the skills they need in the creative industries?
I like that.
And like how many folks are working for you? It's good for our kids to always hear, it's like the creative industries are this iceberg, right? And the folks on the stage are here, but like everything around it is so big. Like how many people are around you right now? Helping you get on tour, manage, booking tours, lawyers, agents,
management.
A lot.
Probably 30 people minimum.
Yeah.
30 people minimum. Like that's the kind of story that we're always trying to tell our kids.
Yeah.
The creative industries, you can be the one on the stage. Some people don't want to do that.
Right.
And they maybe don't have, that's not where their talent lives.
Stage life.
I mean, even if you look at how many writers that we've co-written songs with,
Yeah,
Oh, even more.
even more.
even more.
And those people are behind the scenes, just helping out with production, writing.
Totally.
So that's still creative.
It's
Mixing,
totally
Just a different
creative.
way. Yeah, mixing, mastering,
All that stuff.
Yeah.
still creative, just not on the
You
stage.
know stuff here and you learn it and you can take it to somewhere like LA, you'll have a much easier time getting a job, for sure.
I think so.
You're like a hungry person that wants to work hard and do music and get a nice job at the studio.
Yeah.
You'll run some copies for a minute. You'll still,
Of course.
you'll be in there.
Exactly.
And you'll be like in there because of a place like this.
That's right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So well, let me show you a little bit more of the studio, introduce you. This is Bianca.
Hi.
Bianca is one of our partner artists. She also does.
All right.
Matt.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Dave.
Dave.
Nice to meet you.
Matt.
Hey, what's up? I'm Zach.
Zach.
Nice to meet you.
I was about to introduce myself to you. Nice to see you again.
And then Mace, I was talking to you a little bit about him, is full-time here, former student, so he came up in our programs. He's been around for 7 years. But Bianca is now, when you guys were talking about the engineering, running the board, all of that, so Bianca is our in-house engineer for our Open Lab program. She also helps start our FEM-powered program, teaches in the classroom, and then outside of Youth on Record, she does a ton around mental wellness in the artist community. That's her passion project.
Trying to make it through.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. So it's so important for us that our artists come from the communities that we serve, that they have a connection to our neighborhoods. And so these are some of our artists. I'm gonna show them the studio.
You ever talk about tour depression? That's a real thing.
A bit. I mean, it's something that we try to stay just in dialogue with. What are all the different components that creatives are dealing with, and both kind of a both and, right? Of what are the tools? Because a lot of us came to this because we were saving our own lives in some way, right? The only thing I can do is play this guitar right now, or the only safe thing I can do. So using those tools, but then also, how do we, once we're kind of in it, how are we articulating past, whatever professional or additional nutritional things that we can do to keep it pushing.
Cool.
Right? I recommend drop dates. Tours are rough, right?
Yeah.
If you're let's go, just a little bit, go home.
I wish it were that easy.
Yeah.
I wish it were that easy.
You're about to be off for 3 straight months.
Yeah.
And do
Put
you
your wellness
find?
plan on the bus.
Yeah, exactly.
Meal plan.
Running,
Yeah, right.
exercise,
That's gotta matter.
maybe sometimes.
Maybe some right.
Some Reiki.
Yeah.
Code for needing space sometimes. Because, even those words of, I need some space or leave me alone have their own trigger to them, right?
We
Band code.
Oh, he's the king.
Yeah,
The king of
that's
I need
all
some space.
The best thing I've always found is just to disappear for the day, and people just don't know where you're at.
Yeah.
I mean, your tour manager does. But
Okay.
Yeah.
The thing is, I feel like we learn the most volatile moments of our adult life together, which is really wild. Because when you think about it, I joined when I was 20 years old, and now I'm 32, and it's been the same unit.
Yeah.
So we've lost people in our families, we've gained people in our families, we've seen the whole spectrum of who we wanted to be versus who we were. Our dynamic is so rooted in that, and I feel like we kind of know by now.
Yeah, I don't even have to talk to this guy to know what he's thinking.
Or this guy.
That's beautiful.
But it's that's very rare now.
Yeah.
Very rare now. It's like people are just like, oh, so like you've been with the same guys forever? I'm like, yeah, like, dude, congratulations, man. We can't even like keep it together for like 3 years.
Oh, you're reading my life story
Because
right
people's
now?
dreams
or-
just get so they need places like this because their dreams.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Like that's fact. You
Yeah.
can do this forever, and it's over.
Yeah.
If you have an opportunity to use this, like it's great.
Yeah.
It's everything.
It is. It's
really
everything. And then
thankful.
if you're communicating like that, people can talk about things on the road and things that.
It's a genuine system of wellness, as opposed to like the creation point. I think a lot of us came to that creation point of wellness, where it's like, okay, I got this song about what I'm going through, and then system around that to say, okay,
Right.
we're going to make that into something fruitful.
Behind the music is real. So you guys know behind it, it's real. Every
true.
band,
I can't
every
wait to hear
band
your
has their-
podcast. I
every
can
band
take
has
up all
their
this
shit.
time just talking to y'all. but-
I know, right?
Every band has crazy shit. Every band has weird stories.
So could he.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
I identify. So well, great to meet you.
Good to meet you.
All right.
Which way are we going?
Yeah, we're going this way. So, yeah, we have a lot up just from our 10th anniversary celebration. This is fun. This is our kind of origin story with the Flowbots, like we were talking to you all about. And they've served on the board this whole time. And then Stefan's actually going to come in and take a larger role in Youth on Record, being working on special programs with us. So, what I love about it is the school district, the government, the mayor's office, nobody said, hey, you all should do this. It really was born from the creatives in the community, like the Biancas, like these guys, myself, saying, this is really what we need. So in so many ways, it's grassroots. And yes, you are reading, we are first and foremost a social justice organization. Teaching young people how to play music is fine. It's great. It's not necessarily going to save and change a life, and it's not necessarily going to dismantle a system that doesn't work for them. And so we try to do all of those things. But we are first and foremost a social justice organization that seeks to just empower young people and give them access to everything that they deserve. Anyway.
Yeah, we marched with Rage. It was Rage and Flowbots from
It was Rage and Flowbots for the
Coliseum
DNC.
for the DNC when the DNC was here.
That's right. That story, they had organized this protest
Looks
march
like this
and
right
that-
here, actually.
Yeah, that was that
Yeah.
day.
Oh, that's awesome.
They launched that, and we actually just interviewed Tom Morello for the podcast.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah,
That was a great day.
that was a good day. And there's something, Denver artists really are, activist has such a strange connotation, but not around here, right? They are change makers in their communities. So that's kind of, that's our origin story. Before we go in here, so outside we built this big outdoor stage in our plaza courtyard. You can take a look if you want. You can pop the door open, but we do a huge outdoor block party every year. We actually had, that's what we're getting ready for. We're going to have over 500 community members. Music is that uniting factor. I know you know this from your shows and just going out to shows. Sometimes a musical scene can be pretty segregated, right? Like the same kind of folks from the same communities are going to the same shows. But if we can kind of integrate that community here on the plaza, bring people who are in Section 8, market rate houses to come down for a community celebration, we do that, and then every person who performs is a young person.
Right.
So it's the only youth music festival in the state of Colorado.
Awesome.
But this plaza has hosted a lot of incredible local and national artists, including we recently just had Yo-Yo Ma here, and did some work with him, which was beautiful. So yeah.
Love it.
We had jokes of like,
Yeah, and so this is that studio I was talking about. All the artists get to record here. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, so
I should text him right now.
yeah, we wanted to make sure, that our students, it's important to learn how to record in your basement. It's important to learn how to record in your bathroom. It's important to learn how to record in a place like this.
Right.
So that, like when you were saying, if they walk into a studio like this, they feel comfortable. Their hands have been on the board. We actually got a team of artists together when we designed this space, from One Republic, from The Fray, Devotchka, Flowbots, I don't think Lumineers were a band at the time, which is funny.
They're not from Denver anyways.
Well, Neela's from here. But, and she's not in the band anymore. But, yeah, anyway, so we got all these guys together and said, what is a studio that you would be proud to record in? Because that's what our kids deserve. So anyway, this was in the Phrase studio. We worked with them.
That's awesome.
They helped us to design this whole thing. And
Who did the mural?
Mace, our student,
Really?
he's an artist. He did that 10-year strong mural, and now he's moving into like figurative pieces.
Awesome.
Really cool.
He's amazing. Yeah. Have you guys met? Did you get to meet
Yep.
these guys
Yeah,
formally?
yeah.
So yeah, Jesus is our engineer, both in Open Lab and for the podcast as well, and started out as an intern of ours, and here he is.
Awesome.
Lives across the street, basically lives here.
Down the console right there, you know.
I don't blame you.
There's a bed that comes out of the ceiling.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is the space.
Beautiful. It's awesome.
Yeah.
What's going on? It's Dave and Matt from American Authors.
What up?
And, music's super important to us. And obviously, we grew up playing music in schools, separate schools, and, we're so rooted in our communities and in what we love about it that if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Truth. Music saves lives. It saved mine. I know it saved his. When you're out here in Denver, support Youth on
Record.
Exactly.
There we go.